Sometimes we have to look beyond all the packaging and all the decorations and all the many things we do and look a little more deeply and beyond that. I came across a story, this is from years ago, something that came from Barry Goldwater. Talked about a friend of his whose family, of course, on Christmas morning would all get up. They had 4 small children. They would get up and all go together into the living room, of course, where the Christmas tree was, and open their gifts. They had some rules in the family. If someone woke up, whoever woke up first on Christmas morning was not to go into that room, was not to go in there by the tree, until whoever woke up first went to all the bedrooms and woke everyone up, and no one could go into that living room until all the family was awake. Man said one morning, Christmas morning, 4:30 in the morning, a 7-year-old little boy came running into Mom and Dad's bedroom. Said, "Mommy, Daddy, hurry, quick, come on, hurry, quick, let's go, hurry up, come on, you got to see this." And Mom and Dad, half awake, sat up in bed and thought, oh no, he broke the rule. He went down there and he saw that brand new bicycle under the tree that he's been wanting for years. But you know, it's Christmas. Maybe we can just let it go by this time. And so off they went to the different rooms, and they got the other children up, and this little 7-year-old grabbed his Mom and Dad's hand and started leading them down the hallway and down the steps as fast as those little feet could take him, down through the hallway. And what surprised Mom and Dad is that this little fella took them into the living room, right past the tree, right past that bicycle, as though he didn't even see it there. Didn't even look at the tree, didn't even notice that brand new bicycle that he's been wanting. And this little boy takes him to the window. Takes him to the window and points out and says, "The star. The star. I've seen the star of Bethlehem." And as they looked out in the eastern sky, there was this beautiful star shining in the night. Going right past the tree and the decorations and the gifts and that shiny brand new bicycle. The eyes of that little child saw the star. Saw the star. Christmas. This is the time we come together on Christmas Eve, and I think it's time for us to take a look at the star and what that star represents and means over that manger. Because you see, we have an opportunity to, yes, open our gifts and share together as families, and all that's important. But above all, we need to make sure that we stay firm and fast in our understanding of the reason, the meaning behind all of the things that we do, behind all that we do. It's from that gift that God has given, that gift that's come from God's very own heart, that gift of love itself. And we want to unwrap that love. We want to understand that love and all of its dimensions. We talk about God's love and how much He loves us and how much He cares. Well, one of the things about that, understanding that love, is to realize that that love is the reason we celebrate Christmas. Sometimes we get it backwards. You know, we celebrate all this Christmas stuff, and oh yeah, there's this Christmas manger scene and this Christ that was born, and it becomes secondary. But you see, this is primary. This is what it's really about. And that's the meaning between the gifts and the symbolism of the decorations that we put up, and the celebrations and everything else. Because without Christ, there is no Christmas. Without Christ, there is no Christmas. But we ought to never forget that. A number of years ago, it's been quite a few years back, I went to a large church, and they had a living Christmas tree. On the stage, there was this Christmas tree, and choir members were stationed in rows going up the tiers of that Christmas tree, and a beautiful, beautiful Christmas pageant. But there was one section that really stood out to me. On the stage, on the one corner, there were stacks of items together over there. There were Christmas decorations, the Christmas bulbs for the tree, and strings of lights, and some wreaths, and Christmas gifts, and a tree with lights, and even a snowman made out of like cardboard, you know, with a scarf and everything. And as you watched, the couple came out on the stage, and they looked at the scene there, and they had all of these things together there, and there was a sheet covering what looked like a table. among all these decorations. And they stood there and they looked, and then they began to move some of those items. They took the tree decorations in those boxes and they took them off and they put them off to the side. Then they took the strings of lights and they took them and put them off to the side. And the wreaths, and they picked them up and again put them off to the side. And then the tree and all its lights and the gifts and the snowman. And all that was left was that white sheet. And very carefully they lifted that sheet, and beneath it was the manger, was that cradle, covered by all the other stuff. You know, we have to be careful we don't do that during the Christmas season. Because it's that cradle, it's that manger that needs to be at the very forefront of the scene, the celebration of what Christmas is all about. It's a celebration of God's love and God's gift of love given to all of us. We talk about that gift of love. We share that gift of love. We need all the tinsel and the ornaments and the gifts. Let's not lose the vision of that cradle and that manger and that Christ child that came so long ago, telling us and showing us God's love in the world. And you look at Jesus' life and how many people's lives he touched and changed because of his love. You see, we're loved. And we need to know that we're loved. And we need to unwrap that love and understand it. And know that even in times when we feel unloved by others around us, there's one whose love never ends. That knows no limits, that knows no bounds. And it's a love for you and for me. Who came in that Christ child, the Savior of the world. But you know, I began to think about this love. You know what hit me? That's only part of it. When we unwrap this love of Christmas, I think God's love is just a part of that unwrapping. Because there's more to be unwrapped. Let me share with you a true story that happened in my first pastorate. Shortly after Christmas, a woman came up to me. She had several children. And of course, with the busyness of Christmas, they had a lot of things going on, as all families do. And she was telling me about her children, and they would clean their rooms. You know, they did a great job of cleaning their rooms. Not a perfect job, of course. You know, it wasn't perfect. But she said the children were very good at cleaning their rooms. But she said this Christmas, things have just been so hectic. We had things to do, people to see, all kinds of things that we've been doing. And on Christmas Eve, she said, the kids just didn't have time to really get to their rooms as they usually do. And she said, I went up there and I decided, you know, for Christmas, I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to do a really good cleaning. She cleaned off the desks and made the beds, changed the sheets, vacuumed the floors, put everything in place. She wanted the bedrooms of those children to look just right for Christmas. That night, the oldest boy, 8, 9 years old, I'm not sure. As usual, came to be bedtime, he went up quietly. She heard some shuffling around upstairs. I heard some things going on, but didn't think much about it. Thought, well, he's just getting ready for bed and all this kind of stuff. And getting changed and going to the bathroom and so on and so forth down the line and heading for bed. And she said, Dave, let me tell you what happened that night. It's probably the greatest Christmas gift I've ever had. She said, that night when I went up to bed, my little boy put a note on my pillow. And that note just simply read, Mom, thanks for cleaning my room. I love you. You know, sometimes when we talk about love, it's not just God's love for us. It's our love for him. It's our love for him. Because he's come into this world to make a difference in our lives and in our world. And so to speak, to clean our rooms too on the inside. And you know, when we really talk about love, love isn't just a one-way street. You look at a marriage or strong relationships. It takes two people loving one another to make it work. And so you see, Christmas isn't just about God loving us, but it's our loving